What if the perfect hero had to make an absolutely impossible choice? Today, we're diving into one of the cornerstones of world literature, the Ramayana. This epic poem was composed by the sage Valmiki thousands of years ago, and trust me, this isn't just some ancient story. It's a huge, sweeping tale of duty, love, exile, and cosmic war that people still talk about today. So, the whole epic is broken down into 7 major sections, or khandas. You can basically think of this slide as our roadmap for the whole journey. We start with Rama's youth, move to the massive conflict in the Book of War, and even get into the really controversial final book. It's how we're going to navigate all the incredible twists and turns of this story. Okay, so here's our game plan for breaking down this massive story. We'll start with the structure. Then we'll follow our hero, Rama, as he makes a fateful promise that leads to his exile. After that, we'll see his queen get stolen, a wild new alliance form, the huge war fought to get her back, and then a homecoming that is way more complicated than you might think. To really get a handle on this epic, we've got to first understand how it's all put together.
Right, so the key to the Ramayana is this one word, khanda. Each khanda is like a book or a major chapter. It's what makes this gigantic, sprawling story feel manageable, giving us a clear path through a story that covers years and whole kingdoms.
Our story kicks off in the amazing kingdom of Ayodhya. You gotta picture this place. It's peaceful, it's prosperous, everything seems absolutely perfect. You've got a good king, 4 great sons, and everyone knows who's next in line for the throne. And right at the center of it all are Prince Rama and Princess Sita. I mean, these two are basically the definition of the ideal couple. Rama, the oldest son, proves he's the real deal by doing something no one else could. He lifts and strings this massive, divine bow to win Sita's hand in marriage. Their love story becomes legendary, pretty much the gold standard for the whole kingdom.
So years go by, and the king, Dasharatha, decides it's time to retire. The whole kingdom is celebrating because he's about to hand the throne over to his oldest son, Rama, who everybody loves. Seems like a perfect, smooth transition of power, right? I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Well, this is what goes wrong. Queen Kaikeyi, who happens to be the king's favorite wife, suddenly steps in. She's the mother of Rama's half-brother, Bharata, and she does not want Rama on the throne. Nope, she wants her son to be king.
And how does she pull this off? Well, years ago, the king promised he'd grant her any 2 wishes she wanted. And now, she decides to cash in that promise. Her demands are devastating. First, banish Rama to the forest for 14 years. Second, make her son, Bharata, the new king. The king is completely heartbroken, but he's trapped by his own word. And Rama, because he is the perfect example of dharma, or duty, just accepts this awful fate without a single complaint.
Now, Rama doesn't go into exile alone. His loyal wife Sita and his brother Lakshmana go with him. But their 14 years in the forest are about to get a lot more intense than just surviving in the wild. A dark shadow is coming, and it's about to turn this exile into a desperate rescue mission.
And here is that shadow. Meet Ravana, the terrifying 10-headed Rakshasa, or demon, king of Lanka. He's looking for revenge because his sister got wounded by Rama and Lakshmana. When he hears about Sita's famous beauty, he comes up with a plan to hurt Rama in the worst way possible.
But think about it. How do you even get to Sita? She's being guarded by 2 of the greatest warriors on the planet. You can't just use brute force. You have to be clever.
And his plan is brilliant, in a sinister way. First, he sends a distraction, a demon disguised as a magical golden deer. It lures Rama and Lakshmana deep into the woods. But before they go, they draw a protective circle around Sita and tell her, do not step outside of this circle, no matter what. That's when Ravana himself shows up, but he's disguised as a holy man asking for food, playing on her kindness.
And just like that, the trap works. Sita, being compassionate and wanting to help a holy man, steps outside the circle. In that one instant, Ravana drops his disguise, reveals his terrifying true form, grabs her, and flies off with her to his island kingdom of Lanka.
So now Rama and Lakshmana are just desperate. They're heartbroken, searching everywhere for Sita. Their search leads them to a totally unexpected group of allies, an army of monkeys, and their greatest hero is Hanuman, a general who is so devoted he will literally move mountains and fly across an ocean to help Rama. Okay, so with a new army and a clear target, the stage is set for one of the most famous showdowns in all of literature, the Great War to rescue Sita. The whole thing unfolds in this series of just incredible events. First, Hanuman, whose father is the wind god, leaps across the entire ocean to Lanka. He finds Sita and tells her help is on the way. He gets captured, but makes this amazing escape by setting the whole capital city on fire with his tail. Then, the entire monkey army does the impossible. They build a bridge out of floating stones all the way across the ocean to Lanka.
And so the two sides finally meet. On one side, you've got Team Rama, our exiled prince, his loyal brother, and an army of powerful monkeys fighting for what's right. And on the other side, you've got Team Ravana, the powerful demon king and his terrifying army of Rakshasas fighting for power and revenge.
But before Rama can get Sita back, he has to face the final boss, Ravana himself. And this isn't just a physical fight, it's a battle of good versus evil. Rama has to defeat this incredible demon with 10 heads, and each head represents a different part of his massive ego and power. So, after a massive, ferocious battle, Rama wins. But as we get to the final part of the story, things take a turn, reminding us that happy endings are rarely that simple. Rama, with a lot of help from his friends, defeats Ravana and finally rescues Sita. After 14 long years, they get to go home to Ayodhya, and there's this huge celebration. His brother Bharata happily gives back the throne, and Rama is finally crowned king. It really seems like the perfect happily ever after ending. But is it?
See, for a lot of people, that's not where the story ends. There's a final book, the Uttarakhanda, and some scholars think was added on later, that gives us a much more tragic and controversial ending. To stop his people from gossiping about Sita's purity after she was captured, Rama makes a heartbreaking choice. As king, he feels his duty is to his people, and so he banishes his own pregnant wife. Sita gives birth to their twin sons all alone in the forest. And though they do have one last, bittersweet reunion, the story ends with Sita proving her purity by calling on her mother, the earth, to take her back.
And that really brings us to the big question here. The Ramayana gives us one of the most perfect heroes ever written, and yet its ending makes us wrestle with these tough ideas about duty, sacrifice, and what's truly right. It just goes to show that even in the most epic stories of good versus evil, the lines can get blurry, leaving us all to wonder. What does it really mean to be a hero?